I agree with that. But that doesn't mean anything, that doesn't mean a lot to a whole lot of people who aren't able to take advantage of the opportunities that you were able to take advantage of, simply because the color of your skin.
What advantages did my color of my skin give me?
Well, there's an ease that you have in society that many people of color don't. You were able to come to this country voluntarily. There are many people who were not able to come to the country voluntarily. There are people who came here as slaves.
For me to come here.
And there is a legacy of slavery that still continues on. There's a legacy of racism that still continues on in this country. That's undeniable.
Well, if we keep talking about it nonstop, it will never go away. If we keep making it the central thing, it will never go away.
Well, why do you believe that?
I think I'm just making a simple statement of fact. So I think we want to get away from making everything a race or a gender or whatever issue, and just treat people like individuals.
Elon Musk confronts Don Lemon after being accused of succeeding due to white privilege, emphasizing merit over color.
The amount of indoctrination that's happening in schools and universities is, I think, far beyond what parents realize. Let me give you an example that a friend of mine told me, which his daughters go to college go to high school in the Bay Area, and he was asking them, like, well, so who are the first few presidents of the United States? They could name Washington, and I said, well, what do you know about him? Well, he was a slave owner. What else?
Right.
Exactly. Nothing.
Right.
Like, okay, maybe you should know more than that. Yeah.
Yeah. That is the woke mind virus. Exactly. Yeah.
Elon Musk criticizes the indoctrination of students with woke culture in schools and colleges, calling for a more balanced educational approach.
Everyone was a slave. Everyone.
Well, not everyone was a slave.
No,
but
everyone was a slave.
Okay.
We are all descended from slaves. It's just a question of when. Was it more recent or less recent? That's it.
That doesn't mean a lot to a whole lot of people who aren't able to take advantage of the opportunities that you were able to take advantage of, simply because the color of your skin.
What advantages does the color of my skin give me?
There's an ease that you have in society that many people of color don't. And there's a legacy of racism that still continues on in this country.
If we keep talking about it nonstop, it will never go away. If we keep making it the central thing, it will never go away.
Why do you believe that?
I think we want to get away from making everything a race or a gender or whatever issue, and just treat people like individuals.
In a sharp exchange, Elon Musk counters Don Lemon's assertions on slavery, highlighting misconceptions and historical context.
Nothing really affects comedy. People always need it. They need it so badly, and they don't get it. It used to be you would go home at the end of the day, most people would go, oh, Cheers is on, oh, MASH is on, oh, Mary Tyler Moore is on, All in the Family's on. You just expected, there'll be some funny stuff we can watch on TV tonight. Well, guess what? Where is it? This is the result of the extreme left and PC crap and people worrying so much about offending other people. Mm-hmm. When you write a script and it goes into 4 or 5 different hands, committees, groups, here's our thought about this joke, well, that's the end of your comedy. They move the gates, like in skiing. Culture, the gates are moving. Your job is to be agile and clever enough that wherever they put the gates, I'm going to make the gate.
Jerry Seinfeld declares wokeness as the greatest enemy of comedy, blaming it for stifling creativity and humor.
But so what? I'll take it. My point is we're embarrassed about things we should be proud of and proud of things we should be embarrassed about. When I was writing my TV series, thanks. What a crowd. So on my staff in the 90s, we had a lot of Harvard guys. They were fantastic, but I could never understand why these guys were so embarrassed about being from Harvard. They would never talk about it. They would never mention it. I'm not talking about Harvard now. I'm talking about the way it used to be. You're never going to believe this. Harvard used to be a great place to go to school. Now it's Duke. You didn't fake your fabulous education. You earned it. Be proud of it. Don't just drop it on people right before you serve in pickleball.
Jerry Seinfeld mocks woke students at Duke University, using humor to highlight the absurdity of extreme political correctness.
talk to?
I have noticed that most of the guests are mostly white males of 22 episodes.
Yeah,
that you've
let's
had.
get into that.
No, but you
Take a look over here, Peter. What do you see? A lot of whiteys. What's going on here?
Oh, this really pisses me off. But go ahead. Really pisses me off. People think it's the census or something. I mean, this has got to represent the actual pie chart of America. Who cares? It's just funny. You know, funny is the world that I live in. You're funny, I'm interested. You're not funny, I'm not interested.
Okay.
And I have no interest in gender or race or anything like that, but everyone else is kind of with their little calculating.
Jerry Seinfeld confronts a race-baiting wokey reporter, dismantling weak arguments with his characteristic wit.
Some of it partially answered, but not all. With the military, we're ending woke immediately. You know, I ended woke, totally. And then in their first week, they reestablished it. It's crazy. They pay instructors hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. It literally, literally, they want our military to be woke. And it's just not going to happen. You read in Hawaii where they had the horrible fire where they have people going there. And before they bring them on board, they have to study woke for a week. Can you believe this? In other words, everyone's wanting to get back to their home, finding the bodies. It was such a tragedy. You don't read about it too much anymore, but hell is going on over there. And they want to give them classes in essentially wokeness. Can you believe? So, you know, you've seen it.
Trump promises to eradicate woke culture from the military, aiming to restore traditional values once he is president.
I just remembered it as I was coming over here. I said, get that clip quickly. The people of Alabama understand that clip. Do you think that... Let me ask you, do you think that General Patton was woke? I don't think so. What do you think, Mike? Mike, was he woke? I don't think so. I don't think he was too woke. He was the exact opposite. You know what woke means? It means you're a loser. Everything woke. Everything woke. It's true. Everything woke turns to shit, okay? It's true.
Trump delivers a blunt critique. Everything woke turns to shit, summarizing his view on the impact of woke culture.
Here's my plan to stop the chemical, physical, and emotional mutilation of our youth. On day one, I will revoke Joe Biden's cruel policies on so-called gender-affirming care. Ridiculous. A process that includes giving kids puberty blockers, mutating their physical appearance, and ultimately performing surgery on minor children. Can you believe this? I will sign a new executive order instructing every federal agency to cease all programs that promote the concept of sex and gender transition at any age. I will then ask Congress to permanently stop federal taxpayer dollars from being used to promote or pay for these procedures.
Laying out his agenda, Trump discusses his plans to end so-called gender-affirming care, citing concerns over its appropriateness and impact.
I want to get paid the same as a man, and I think you understand that. So, if you become president, will a woman make the same as a man, and do I get to choose what I do with my body?
You're going to make the same if you do as good a job.
In a heated moment, Trump takes on a woke feminist, using his platform to challenge modern feminist narratives.
Posted that pronouns and bio mean the woke mind virus ate your brain. Do you know what the term woke actually means?
It's come to mean a lot of things.
But what originally it was meant to mean. It's just being aware of inequities in society and being aware of facts and history.
Yeah, I think it's come to be. I think being aware of inequities in society is fine, of course, but trying to blame everything on trying to make everything a race issue is, I think, divisive and corrosive to society.
Even as it relates to trans issues, which is what I'm.
Yeah, race or gender or whatever.
You think that society blames everything on racism now?
It blames a lot of things on it, and yeah.
You think that's unfair?
Yeah.
Why?
I think we should not make this a constant subject. I think we need to move on.
Elon Musk delves into how woke culture has permeated society, dissecting its consequences on traditional values and behaviors.
It happened to one of my older boys, where I was essentially tricked into signing documents for one of my older boys, Xavier. This was before I had really any understanding of what was going on, and we had COVID going on, and so there was a lot of confusion. I was told, Xavier might commit suicide if he did.
That was a lie right from the outset.
Incredibly evil, and I agree with you that people that have been promoting this should go to prison.
That's
so I
personal.
was tricked into doing this, it wasn't explained to me that puberty blockers are actually just sterilization drugs, and so I lost my son essentially. They call it dead naming for a reason.
Yeah,
All right. So the reason it's called dead naming is because your son is dead. So my son Xavier is dead, killed by the woke mind virus.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what that would be like.
Musk reveals personal pain, discussing how the woke mind virus has estranged him from his son, highlighting the deep personal impact of ideological divides.
There was advertisers leaving. We talked to Bob Iger
I hope
today.
they stop.
You hope?
Don't advertise.
You don't want them to advertise?
No.
What do you mean?
So if somebody's gonna try to blackmail me with advertising, blackmail me with money, go yourself.
But
Go yourself. Is that clear? I hope it is. Hey, Bob, if you're in the audience.
what do you do?
F-Y.
I understand that, but there's a reality too, right?
What this advertising boycott is going to do, it's going to kill the company, and the whole world will know.
Those advertisers, I imagine, are going to say, we didn't kill the company.
Oh yeah.
They're going to say,
tell it to Earth.
But they're going to say, Elon, that you killed the company because you said these things, and that they were inappropriate things, and that they didn't feel comfortable on the platform, right? That's what they're going to say.
And let's see how Earth responds to that.
Elon Musk defiantly tells woke companies to go to hell, expressing frustration with corporate virtue signaling.
You do some tweets that seem to be, or at least give support to some who would call others conspiracy theories. For example, even today, Elon, you tweeted this thing about George Soros. When you do something like that, do you
I think that's true. That's my opinion.
Okay, but why share it? Why share it when people who buy Teslas may not agree with you, advertisers on Twitter may not agree with you?
Freedom of speech, I'm allowed to say what I want.
You absolutely are, but I'm trying to understand, do your tweets hurt the company? Are there advertisers on Twitter that come and say, you gotta stop, man, I can't get these ads because of some of the things you tweet?
I'm reminded of scene in The Princess Bride, where he confronts the person who killed his father, and he says, offer me money, offer me power, I don't care.
So you just don't care?
I'll say what I want to say, and if the consequence of that is losing money, so be it.
In a discussion on free speech, Elon Musk silences a reporter, advocating strongly for the freedom of expression without censorship.
What are you guys going to do when our ocean level rises?
Thank you for asking that question. I have the answer. The best scenario vis-a-vis global warming is about 10 feet raise in water. That's the best scenario over the next 40, 50 years. That's the best scenario. But let's just take the 10 feet. If the water on the planet rise up 10 feet, that means the southern part of the United States is gone. Let's just take Florida, for example, which is one of the fastest growing beachfront condominiums on the planet. In the prospectus, when you invest, there should be, in the footnotes, if global warming is for real and water rises 10 feet, this investment you made is not one single investment prospectus written since this century has alluded to global warming. Not one if it were really true, the banks wouldn't invest. The banks wouldn't finance. Not one condominium.
Dan Pena takes on a wokey climate activist, educating them with harsh truths about environmental actions and their real-world impact.
If you ask any scientist, are you sure that human activity is causing global warming? Any scientist should say no, because you cannot be sure. Let's say hypothetically, CO2 was good for the environment, and let's say hypothetically the United States possessed all the oil in the world, well, you'd still have to get off oil because it's a finite resource. And as you start to run out of it, the scarcity would drive the cost up and cause economic collapse. I just don't understand why we'd run that experiment. Particularly when you consider that at some point we have to get to something that is sustainable. We have to have sustainable production of energy and consumption of energy. Because tautologically, if it's unsustainable, you will run out of it.
Elon Musk shares his insights on climate change, cutting through popular myths with data and a focus on practical solutions.
Oh, you're back! They're back! The protesters are back! I missed you! Oh, you're not doing well. It's so hard for you. You gotta... Yes, listen, dude, listen. Listen, let me explain something. You and I are in the same business. We're in the same business. Our business is to get people to see things the way we see it. The problem is you're in the wrong place. Do you hear how well I'm doing? This is what you want. You want to do well like I am. Look at the people here to hear me. Look at what happened to you. Here's the other thing I think you need to go back and tell who's ever running your organization. We just gave more money to a Jew. That cannot be a good plan for you. That's not what you want. That's the whole problem. You got to come up with a better plan.
Jerry Seinfeld trolls pro-Palestine wokies protesting at his show, using humor to diffuse tension and challenge their perspectives.
When I see these people talking about global warming, where the ocean will rise by 1/100th of an inch over the next 350 years, where it's going to get a little bit warmer or a little bit cooler, they don't know. You know, it used to be global warming.
They don't talk about it as much, though.
No, they don't talk. No, they
Al
call
Gore
it,
went into hiding or something.
well, no, now they call it climate change because they said it's going to get warmer. It was getting colder. Then it was going to get colder. It's getting warmer. You know, they used to say global cooling because they thought the world was going to freeze. That was in the 1920s. They had a thing, global cooling. Then it went to global warming, but that wasn't working. So now they go to climate change because that covers everything.
Trump explains what he believes climate change really means, offering a unique interpretation that challenges conventional views.
I don't really want to do this interview anymore. If you want to find out what I know or tell me what you know, then don't interview me. You do your own stupid show. I'm trying to tell you something here, and you want to tell me how smart you are. That's very egotistical.
I'm here because I'm stupid. Let's get that straight.
Well, then let me explain something then, damn it.
Robert Kiyosaki shows visible frustration during an interview, pushing back against an annoying interviewer with candid displeasure.
Pieces of advice for me? Yeah. What you got? Don't keep cash. Don't? How much you got in the bank right now? How liquid is it? A lot. How much? What's a lot? I can handle it.
Yeah, I can't say. I can't say.
Whisper. Well, write it down. Okay, so.
Hey, it's a lot for me.
No, he started laughing.
He's like, that's my jet.
Yeah, he's like, I spent that on dinner last.
When a billionaire meets a woke millionaire, the clash of worlds and wealth brings unexpected revelations and confrontations.
How many of you are worried about biological men and boys competing against women and girls in sports? Just show me. That's almost the entire, that is the entire room. And I know you have a question.
You do.
By the way, excuse me, it's so crazy. It's so crazy.
How do you plan on addressing the transgender issue in women's sports? I have 9 grandchildren, 6 of them female, all playing sports, and we are very concerned for their safety, not just on the field and the courts, but in their locker rooms as well.
It's such an easy question, and everybody in the room, and you know that answer, we're not going to let it happen. We stop it. We stop it. We absolutely stop it. You can't have it. It's a man playing in the game. I mean, physically, from a muscular standpoint, even if it was a little bit less, maybe they do all sorts of tests and drugs and everything else. Look at what's happened in swimming. Look at the records that are being broken.
So how do you stop it? Do you go to the sports leagues? Do you go to the Olympic
You just
councils?
ban it. The president bans it. You just don't let it happen.
Not a big deal.
Trump announces his intention to ban trans women in women's sports, citing fairness and biological differences as his main concerns.
Want to catch wokey moments in 4K? Watch till the end, subscribe, like the video, and comment wokies for a chance to win a brand new iPhone 16 or a cash prize. Also, don't forget to check out the next video on the end screen for more chances to win.